Okay, we're doing our homework from the book with the animals on it. So we were doing this page here, which is page 252. Okay, you were to find different ways to make a hexagon. And I'm not sure what ways you made, but let's look at some. We said you can use a trapezoid, a rhombus, or a triangle. So if we used trapezoids, what could we make? We can make two shapes. It's drawn a straight line. So you have two trapezoids. Okay, the next one, you could use your trapezoid again, but this time instead of on the bottom putting another trapezoid, we could use one of our other two shapes. Which one do we want to use? Well, we can use the rhombus. Can we fit another rhombus in there? No, so we're going to have to use the triangle. So if we draw that, then we're going to draw in our line like before. And then if we draw in our triangle is going to have to come from here down. So we have our trapezoid, our rhombus, and our triangle. I'm just writing abbreviations for those. Okay, then the next one. We can still use a rhombus again, or a rhombus, a trapezoid again, and we can use, this time, instead of using a rhombus again, we could try all triangles. And it would look something like this. So if we drew in our lines, it would be a straight line across here. Here we go up to a point and back down. So we have 1, 2, 3 triangles. So we have a trapezoid and 3 triangles. Or if we wanted to use just all rhombuses, there are 3 rhombuses. And we could put those together to make our shape. It's hard to do with a book like that. So we're going to draw our first rhombus coming in like this, and the other one down like this. So we have 1, 2, 3 rhombuses. Okay, to make that one, you come in towards the middle and out towards the other side, and then a straight down. Okay. Was it hard? It takes a while to get used to making those, especially when you haven't had a lot of practice doing it. Okay, it says Buzz and Boom each have 3 rhombuses. So here are 3 rhombuses. Buzz says he can put them together to make a trapezoid. So if I take a trapezoid and I try to put 3 rhombuses on there, are they going to fit? No, no way. So Boom says he can put them together to make a hexagon. So let's see. And we just did this. And we put them together to make a hexagon. So Boom was right. So again, we draw a line from here to here and here, and we have our 3 rhombuses. So Boom was right. Okay. Like I said, it's a little difficult when you don't have the shapes to use. Okay, if we go and look then for today's lesson, we're looking at the book with the numbers on it. And we are looking at page 181. That looks like this. Okay, we're going to be putting together some shapes that we don't have. I don't have here either, but that aren't usual shapes. This is part of what? See the round edges? Okay, this does not have straight edges. So this would make part of a circle. Okay, and then we have our triangle, another triangle. Now, these two triangles are different from the triangle we've been using. The triangle we have been using, like this, does not have a square corner. Let me show you a big one. This triangle does not have a square corner, but this triangle does. And that's the kind of triangles they're using in this picture here. If you have triangles with a square corner, then you can make a different shape than we've been talking about. So if you put together two triangles that have square corners, then you make what? You make a square, because now they have all four square corners. And to have a square, you have to have four sides, four corners, and they have to be square. If you took the card and put it in each of the corners, you would have a square corner. So triangles are anything that have three sides and three corners, but they can have different kinds of corners. They can have square corners and not square corners, and it depends on whether they do as to what shape you can make. So if we look up here, they took two triangles that had square, each one of them had a square corner, and they put them together and they made a square. Here they took how many triangles? 1, 2, 3, 4 together, and what did they make? They made a rectangle. This one had all sides the same, so this is a square. This one had two pairs of sides that are the same. This is the same as that one opposite. This is the same as the one opposite or facing it. Okay, so this one is a rectangle, and it took 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles with a square corner to make the rectangle. It took 2 to make a square. Okay, so it's saying we want to make this shape down here. If we want to make this shape, which of these pieces up here we're going to have to use? Well, this shape has a rounded edge, doesn't it? So we're going to have to use shapes like this. Now this is a semicircle. It's half of a circle. Half means that we cut it into two parts. And this is just one part, or one half of it. So what two shapes did we use to make it? These? No, because these have only straight edges. This has a rounded side, and this has a rounded side. So I used two of them. So where's my line going to be on this? It's going to be down the middle. Whoops, that doesn't even make it. Or like this. Okay, so now I took my half a circle and I divided it into halves. So now those are fourth, each of those are a fourth of the circle. Okay, and here is my whole circle. Now if I want to divide this using these shapes up here, how many of these shapes will it take to make this? Well, if it took 2 to make half of it, then to make all of it, what are we going to do? Well, let's divide this circle into half, just like we did on the other side. Just like this over here. Pretend that my lines are straight. It's kind of hard, the best, to draw these. Okay, now we divided this into half. So it took 2 of the pieces. Now we're going to need to make the top 2 more pieces. That's still not in the middle. Okay, so we end up with 1, 2, 3, 4. Need 4 pieces to be able to make that. And then it says, what other shapes can you make when you put these shapes together? Well, you're going to be able to make things that are not other shapes. You can make a house with them. You can make a building. You can make a car. You can make different things with those. But you're not putting a half circle, a semicircle, or a quarter of a circle together with other shapes. You're not going to be making another typical shape. Okay, so let's look what you have for homework then. Okay, it says you can put shapes together to make new shapes. So we put two shapes together. We took two half circles to make a whole circle. Here we took three triangles to make a trapezoid. Here it says use four shapes to make a circle. So 4 shapes. So what shape was that going to be? Probably the shape that we were talking about before, the blue one and the green one. Okay, so what are we going to have to do down here? We're going to have to divide this in half. So now you have 2 pieces, so you have it in halves, and then divide it down the middle here. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes. Okay, it says use 2 shapes to make a rhombus. How are we going to make this into a rhombus? Okay, you can't use a hexagon because a hexagon's bigger. You can't use a trapezoid because a trapezoid's bigger. So what's smaller than the rhombus? Well, the triangle. So if you put a triangle there, you would need 2 triangles. And you would draw your line through like this. So that would be 2 shapes to make a rhombus. Then on the back, what you're going to be doing tonight is show different ways to make this rectangle. Here you're going to use just 2 shapes. Here you're going to use 3, and here you're going to use 4. Okay, you want help, go back to your book, your instruction book, and remember, here we put 2 shapes together to make a square. Here we put 4 shapes together to make a rectangle. Okay, so stop and think. What shapes can you put together then? 2 shapes to make this, 3 shapes to make this, and 4 shapes to make this. Okay, then show different ways to make this trapezoid using 3 shapes and using 2 shapes. Remember, the trapezoid, what 2 shapes are smaller? A triangle and a rhombus. So you're going to have to be using triangles and rhombuses to make it. Okay, use 6 triangles to make a hexagon. Draw it. Well, first draw your hexagon. Remember, hexagon, draw a line at the top, draw a line at the bottom that are the same. Come over here and put a dot. Come over here and put a dot. And I'm making it bigger so I'll have room to work. Draw your line to the dot. From the dot back over to the line. Over to the dot. Over to the line. And then put in your shapes to make it. Think you can do that? Well, I think you can. So have fun doing that. Boy, the hexagon looks terrible. You can make it better than that. I put my dot out too far. It needed to go in. So have fun and talk to you later. Don't forget to do your 30 minutes of iReady. Bye, guys.